We've been creating pages using just a touch of PHP to include text files we've created in Excel, but which can contain, as well as ordinary text, HTML, styling, images, videos, and even code scripts. But we reached a point where links and drop-down menus to access those pages weren't enough, and so we built ourselves a simple search routine in PHP. The last video dealt with searching for matches using a separate keywords file to speed things up. This file came in the form of a CSV file, which we made using an Excel Visual Basic routine. This routine could easily be modified to create any type of CSV file from Excel data. And while our setup and routine had a lot of promise, the output was pretty basic. So we're going to add a few more lines of PHP to jazz things up a bit. If you remember, our PHP code opened a text file which had the names and keyword lists of 5 universities. Checked a search string sent from an HTML form against those keywords, and if it found a match, created a simple HTML link to a university server page we had created in a previous video. But it was just a link and nothing more. What we'll do now is embellish this link with some text from one of our other Excel files we created in the second video. These bits of text came from the university's Wikipedia pages. So we set up a page called Search CSV File on our WordPress site. Because WordPress is touchy about raw PHP, we installed a plugin called Insert PHP to get WordPress to accept our code. We created an HTML form on our page to send search text to our server and wrote out this bit of PHP to carry out the search and return the results to us. We kept the form and the results on the same page, and if that seems a little weird, remember the page at the server end just receives our search string, builds up a page or a part of a page according to our PHP instructions, and sends the result back to us. The PHP stays on the server. The first line shows a string called searchString receiving the value from the variable search, which was sent from our form. We're using the post method to send our text. Without going into details, post is generally more secure than get. And we've also got a function called htmlspecialchars wrapped around our post method. This function basically disables anything sent from the text box which it considers harmful. Our next line is the file path to the keyword file on our server, and the next line is a variable called count, which we'll use to count how many successful searches we get. The next line is a PHP conditional. Basically it says if search string is empty, that is someone has clicked on the search button with nothing in the text box, we'll just add null to it. The next line is the print function outputting some text. Notice the little bits of HTML we've added and the full stops acting as string connectors. Then we set up open file and pass to it our open file path. Notice the function fopen which does this and the lowercase letter r which means read only. And now we come to another type of loop. The while loop goes round its code until a condition is no longer met. In this case, the function fgets takes one line of text out of our file and passes it to a variable called row. And the condition will fail when fgets runs out of text because it's got to the end of the file. Now we'll use the function stripos to see if the search term sent to our page matches any of the text in our new variable row. If stripos finds a match, we'll put its position in a variable called string position, for instance 120 characters from the start of the text. If stripos doesn't find anything, it will simply register false. Which brings us to another if conditional. If string position does not equal false, that strange combination of an exclamation mark and 2 equal signs means does not equal, then it must have found a match in our variable row. If you remember, the data elements in our Excel file were joined together by commas. The function explode splits apart those elements according to the commas into an array called university for us. The first part of the array now holds our university name, which we need for our link, and the second contains all our keywords. So we're going to open up our existing code at this point and insert a few more lines. Just remember, PHP is a stickler for apostrophes and semicolons. First off, we need a second file path to a text file we created in video 2 from the university's Wikipedia entry. We'll set up a variable wiki file to open this file as read-only again. That's the lowercase r you can see. And transfer its contents to a variable called text output. Now we're going to use an if conditional again. And what we're going to do is look to see if the search string we found in our keyword file also exists in our wiki text file. If it does, we'll extract some words from the position in the file where we found the search string to add to the university link we're going to create. If we don't find the search text, we'll just use some words from the beginning of the file. So using the stripos function in the condition, we check to see if the search text exists in text output. By the way, stripos is case insensitive, which makes finding matches a bit easier. If stripos does find a match, we'll pass its position in the file to text start. If it doesn't, we'll set text start to 0. That's the first character in the file. Notice the way we use two lots of curly brackets for the operations in our conditional and the word else to separate them. In the next line, the function substring will pass 250 characters from the place where text start starts to the variable extract. If there are less than 250 characters left in the file, substring will forgive us and transfer whatever is left. And that's it. We've got our text, so we can just close the file and add one to our count. And now we can print out our university page link along with some text. And we go around the loop again to check to see if we can find another match, otherwise we'll end our search and call it a day. Well, we're still a long way from Google, of course, but we're moving towards something quite functional. Of course, one of the keys to a successful search is having a comprehensive keyword file, and we'll look to see how we might automate part of that process in the next video. In the meantime, thanks for watching.